When my girlfriend told me she wanted to open our relationship, I agreed, even though I knew it would hurt. 5 years together, and I thought we had something solid. Turns out I was wrong. I'm 27, she's 24. We've been together since high school. Broke up when I went off to college because she thought I needed to spread my wings. Back then, I thought she just lost interest. Years later, she told me she ended things because she didn't want to hold me back. While I was out experiencing college life, parties, dates, bad decisions, she was stuck at home with a controlling mother who lost her mind when she found out her daughter had a boyfriend. Her mom practically locked her down. No friends, no freedom, no life. When she finally got to college, that control didn't really stop. She was still dependent on her mom, financially and emotionally. I had the freedom she didn't. She had the structure I hated. When we reconnected years later, everything clicked again. We shared stories, her miserable home life, my chaotic college experiences, and for the first time in years, it felt like we'd both grown up. We moved in together in 2016 and built a steady, simple life. But last year, something shifted. She started talking about wanting to experience new things. At first, it sounded harmless. Curiosity, maybe even self-discovery. But deep down, I knew what she meant. She wanted other people. It hit me hard, but I tried to be understanding. I didn't want to be the reason she felt trapped again. So, after weeks of talks and tears, we agreed to open the relationship. The first time she found someone, it didn't go anywhere. The guy turned out to be trash. I thought maybe that would be the end of it. I hoped it was. But a few weeks later, she met a new guy at work. She told me straight up, I want to experience him. They hadn't done anything physical yet, at least that's what she said, but they were talking every day, constantly. Meanwhile, I was trying to make sense of my own feelings. I downloaded dating apps, chatted with people, even went on a few dates. But no matter what, I couldn't shake the truth. I didn't want anyone else. Every time I was at work, I just missed her. Every time I was off, she was with him. I felt like a background character in my own relationship. Whenever I told her how lonely I felt, she'd panic, saying maybe we should just close things back up again. But then she'd change her mind and tell me, this is something I have to experience. If I don't, I'll always wonder. So I said nothing and watched everything fall apart. Part 2, the spiral. By mid-year, the open relationship had completely flipped on me. At first, she was the one getting all the attention. New dates, new experiences, new people. Meanwhile, I struggled to find anyone I could actually connect with. I've always been monogamous at heart. I can't fake intimacy with strangers. But I kept trying because I thought that's what being open meant. Therapy helped a little. I learned how to express my feelings without guilt. And somehow that made things better between us and for a while. Then I met someone. She wasn't just another date. She was kind, grounded, and genuinely easy to talk to. We became friends first, then something more. For the first time since opening things up, I felt connected. But when my girlfriend saw that, everything changed. Suddenly, she was jealous, constantly calling me when I was out, showing up unannounced or trying to distract me with sex right before I'd leave to see my new partner. It was strange. She wanted the freedom, but she couldn't handle me having it too. That's when the real decline started. Before all this, she was responsible, good with money, worked steady hours, and even went back to college. After we opened up, that version of her disappeared. First, she started blowing entire paychecks on tattoos and piercings. I didn't mind the self-expression, but then came the attitude, arguing with supervisors, showing up late, leaving early. Next came school. Her grades tanked. She stopped going to class entirely and somehow didn't even realize midterms or finals had happened. Then she took a mental health break from work. 2 months off, unpaid. I supported it at first, but when I suggested therapy, she refused. She narrowed her hookups down to one guy, the same one from work, and started staying with him for days at a time. She said she just hated being alone when I worked long shifts. That's when I started noticing food delivery charges, hundreds a month. She doesn't drive, doesn't work, and we already had groceries. Turns out she was using my money for all of it. She'd sleep all day, order food, watch shows, and do nothing else. The maturity she once had was gone. Whenever I tried to talk about it, she'd shut down. If I mentioned money, she got defensive. If I brought up the relationship, she'd twist it, saying I was just making things up in my head. Eventually, she quit her job entirely. No plan, no backup, nothing. I started pulling away, emotionally, physically, everything. And the moment I did, she noticed. She accused me of not finding her attractive anymore, said I'd stopped trying. She wasn't wrong. I was drained. When we did talk, it was usually about her or her new guy. She'd make excuses to avoid intimacy. I'm tired. I'm on my period. I'm just not in the mood. It had been nearly 2 months since we'd touched each other, and honestly, I stopped trying. But every time I tried to open up about how I felt, she'd explode, threatening to break up, crying that I was never satisfied. Then she'd follow it up with, "You're the man I want to marry. I just need time. You're my forever." And I wanted to believe her. I really did. But I couldn't ignore what was right in front of me. She was chasing chaos, and I was chasing peace. The woman I fell in love with, the strong, motivated one, had vanished. And in her place was someone lost, selfish, and unsure who she even wanted to be. I told myself that once our finances stabilized, maybe we could try couples therapy, but she didn't seem interested. At that point, I wasn't sure she was interested in us at all. Update 1. The day I posted about all this, her mom, the same one who'd made her childhood hell, called. They'd had a distant surface-level relationship since she left home, but that call changed everything. Her mom told her that her brother had been struggling mentally, and in the process, she realized how harshly she'd parented her own daughter. She actually apologized. Something cracked open in my girlfriend that day. She cried, confessed how angry and damaged she still felt, and said she was scared she'd become her mother. She promised she'd start therapy. She said she wanted to fix her patterns and for herself, not just for me. I didn't know if I believed her, but I wanted to. She just started a new job and she even started applying for a second one, saying she finally wanted to be more independent, financially and emotionally. It felt like a small step in the right direction, but deep down, I knew it might already be too late. Part 3. The breakup, the fallout, and what I learned. A few months after she started therapy, things between us hit a strange calm. Not peace, just quiet, like two people living parallel lives under one roof. She was going to work again, seeing her therapist, and actually seemed lighter. She'd laugh again, talk about her dreams, even apologize for things she'd done. But the truth was, the damage was already done. I didn't feel connected to her anymore. We'd gone from lovers to roommates, polite, familiar, but completely distant. Every time she'd reach out to hold my hand, I'd hesitate. Not because I didn't love her, but because I didn't trust that love anymore. Then one night she sat me down and said, "I think we should close the relationship. I just want it to be you and me again. It should have made me happy, but instead, I just felt nothing." I told her the truth, that I couldn't go back, that after everything, I didn't even know who she was anymore. She cried, begged me to give it another chance, promised she'd change, said she'd do anything. But I'd already done everything. I'd given her space, love, patience, and forgiveness, and she used it to burn every bridge between us. So I told her, "I love you, but I can't be with you. I'm done trying to fix something you broke on purpose." She left that night, took her things, her cat, and disappeared. I thought that was the end of it. But a week later, she called. She was drunk, sobbing, incoherent, saying she didn't recognize herself anymore. She'd stopped going to therapy, quit her new job, and moved in with a friend who didn't even want her there. I listened for a while, but I didn't go back, because that's what she wanted. Not closure, but comfort. And I was done being her emotional safety net. Update 2, 1 year later. It's been a full year since we broke up. I still think about her sometimes, not with anger, just sadness, because I loved her deeply, and she destroyed herself chasing a version of freedom that only made her more trapped. She reached out a few months ago, just a text. "I finally understand what I did to you. I'm sorry." I didn't reply, not because I hated her, but because I'd finally learned that loving someone doesn't mean saving them. I'm seeing someone new now, slowly, carefully. She's grounded, kind, and emotionally mature. We talk about everything. No secrets, no manipulation, no fear. Sometimes I still wonder what would have happened if I'd said no when she first asked to open the relationship. But I think the truth is, this was always how it was going to end. She didn't need an open relationship. She needed healing, and I couldn't be her therapist. Opening our relationship didn't destroy us, it just revealed how broken we already were. And maybe that's what growth really is. Learning when to let go of the person you love, even when every part of you wants to hold on.